check my audio. All right, we're good. Where else? Let's check. Uh, so I forgot something. What I forget? Oh, I've been open. Oh yeah, I remember my avatar. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm using this guy because my camera is low. Like the battery is low, so yeah, just gonna use this guy. Okay, so where do we start? Where do we start? Where do we start? Let's see. Um, so- okay. All right. Just make sure everything's okay. Drop a message. Hey everyone. Thanks for joining. All right, cool. That was me. I was going to say. All right, so in today's stream, I think I'll need to go over. I'll need to go over. Oh my god! I think. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, okay, cool. I need to go over something. What would that be? What would that be? Okay. Yeah. So let's run this and see. Where we stopped at. I mean, I was able to make some changes after yesterday, but there is something that happened. No, not yesterday. That was 2 days ago. There's something that happened in yesterday's stream that I wanted to correct, to fix, and that would be my battle with the input bar that we were trying to set up the first time. We eventually had to use dip6 to figure out what the issue was, and then we found out what the issue was. So I think I'm just going to explain what happened and also explain what we actually need to set up an actual input. So it's my requirement starting from scratch. Not the whole project, obviously, but I'm going to create something from scratch. So let me run this so we can just see where we are at. Just add. Okay, around this we see that we have a little over a well-looking app right now. So it looks all set up. It's just the UI for now. It looks all set up, but it's not actually. All right, so I had to turn off for a little bit because there was I think my neighbors put on the gen, so it just started, so it's just all there. But anyways, let's get back to it. So like I said, I was going to show what was I going to show? I was going to show what we actually need to set up. We'll try to recreate yesterday's issue and show something else, something here. Let me create a new project for this in my trash. Cargo new. That's my trash folder for projects that I like want to delete. So I'll say cargo new test app. So if I go to the test app, it says just a blank. It's just a blank, Rust projects. I run this cargo run see hello world here. So really cool, simple, straight to point. So what we need to do is set up, GPUI projects. And if I, go to the GPUI components, GPUI component sites, we can, start with the templates that's already there. What be? So yeah, we have the dependencies that we need. We just have to just copy this and paste it here. So we just paste it here. This looks choppy to me because yeah. So this, I think I need to stay what I'm doing in there. So right now, I want to read yes. Last print. Okay. Just pin that, and I think I should put it in the chat too, like on the screen. And just put so yeah, I'm trying to recruit last round's issue. So that's what I'm on to right now. Okay, so we have our dependencies all set up. Now we need to update the main RS. Take a look at the getting started here. We can see there is a template that we can just get from. But at the end of the day, what we need is a simple struct that holds the application. Let's say our test app. So we have the test app right there. And then we need to implement render. So all right, this struct is just going to be an entity that implements render. So at the end of the day, it's still an entity. It's still an entity, but it's just it's an entity that implements render. It's like an entity that you can actually draw to the screen. I just need to pull that and use GPUI. I think Cargo is still trying to fetch. Still trying to fetch the things, the dependencies, and the the repository. So it's gonna take a while. And it is not really the fastest, I can't even really see the logs. Like, I mean, Z, I'm supposed to click this and see the the description and everything. Okay, so I had to close a few processes so we can have a smooth running, have this whole thing run smoothly. Well, it looks like it's going to take a while. I'm just going to have to let it run. Am I back? Oh shit, I'm not back. Oh yeah, I'm back now. Okay, I think it's done. Cool. So now we have render in our scope. So all we need to do is implement the function, the render function, and simply this returns an element. So we'll just say it's going to be a div. So if we run this, we'll still get our hello world. This feels like a new tutorial, like it seems like a new GPU tutorial, like I'm starting from scratch, but bear with me, we'll get there. So this has to build the whole, dependencies and it's done a bit. So what's next? We need to run this guy, like we need to actually create the app. Let's create the app. I think this GPU platform is kind of like a helper. But I think we could actually just use the GPU. Like if you're looking for like simplicity and you're not really working on with GPU components on this, you could just do this, create a new application and blah blah blah. But I think this GPU platform holds some platform dependent code. So I'll just recommend you maybe use it. I don't know if you feel like, It's gonna take a while to run, to build rather. Okay. All that's built, let's just copy this code. We need the GPU platform application. We don't have any assets, so this is all we need. So I will just get that, and I would say app.run. So this actually launches the application not the window. So we still have to create the window. But when the application runs, we need to initialize GPUI components, pass in the context. Then we spawn a thread. I don't know if this is how to spawn the thread or something. Let's see. I think it does. Spawns an asynchronous function. Yeah, like a task. And in that thread, we want to create new windows. So we can have like 2 of this or 4 of this. We can create multiple windows. Let's start with 1. CX, I guess. This should be an asynchronous context. So yeah, that's an asynchronous context. So now that we have that, task spawned, but we need to detach it, which is kind of like an await, I guess. Just say detaches it from the current trend. Yeah, kind of like puts it on the background. Cool. So we need to now open a window. So this is the function that opens the window. The options, we need window options, but for now we're just going to set to the default. And then to actually build the view, we need to do this. So we need to return the elements, the root elements, back to this out of this closure. So it's just going to be like a div. Yeah, so this kind of like gives the guy back. Well, we need to the 6 window 6. Let's see from here. Okay, window, then the context. Okay, so this has to be an entity. Yeah, this would have sufficed or not. Oh, okay, that's a bit stateful. Okay, cool. But anyways, we're actually getting there. What we need to do here is return test app. That's it. Yeah. Oh, we have to return this. No, 3. Okay, it returns a result, so we have to kind of like handle that somehow. Okay, that should do it. Cool. So now we just pass this to the window as our entity that we want to display. That works, and that's cool. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to like remember the architecture of our previous project. Okay, yeah, we had this as our app, and we had another, stateful widget that we wanted to put on the screen as a new screen, like a screen for the window or something like that. Yeah, so we had the app, and then we wanted something else like a screen. It's probably like bad practice, but just bear with me for now. So I had this, and we wanted to, implement render for screen, and then fn render div. Just for the text child. Okay, that's okay. All right, so we had another screen. Am I missing something? Oh, okay. So we had another screen I wanted to put into the the app. And what we had here, this is me trying to recreate yesterday's issue. So what we had here was we had a function, or rather we had this guy hold a property that was like entity, let's say entity of screen. Yeah, so we had this, and we wanted to create a new window, implement test app Screen. Oh, something like this. Yeah, it was something like this. Let's see if it's a little bit. Yeah, it was something like this. Then we passed it here. We passed. Yeah, what we did was we passed the screen here, so it was like entity screen. We didn't implement the new function yesterday, though, if I can remember correctly. What we did was we, closed the stuff and we just passed it here. It's kind of like still the same thing, but we didn't have to create another function for that. We said screen, and then we said cx dot new, and then we passed this here. So we like created an entity inside an entity that would be drawn to the screen. So looks like this. We have screen. And yeah, this is what we had. Yeah, this is what we had yesterday. This is what we had yesterday. And now it works. If I were to run this, hopefully. Window. Okay, yeah, that's right here. Oh, okay, I have to color the text. Let's just make that color text. Color. That's color. Okay. RGB. Whites. Okay. Yeah, just that. Run this, and we should see child on the screen. Oh shit. Okay. Oh. We didn't render it here. My bad. We're supposed to render this screen as a child of test app. So say you add a child, and then we can just say self.screen. I think that should be a reference. Yeah. What did we do? Okay, it was not a reference to the new entity. No, let's put a new entity on the screen. What did we do? Let me see if I can get a. Oh, okay, we cloned it. Ah, okay, makes sense. Cool. So now that we rendered the screen to the test app, we should be able to see something. Now, that's just okay. Cool. Now we see child, which is cool. It's just like we have a component screen that we put on test app, and that's nice. That's cool. But the issue was that we kept creating a new entity here. So if we had like an input, if this was an input, let's add a new child. Input. Oh shit, so it's just child. Yeah, so we have this, and then screen has a state for managing our inputs. What's gonna do? Inputs. So we have inputs. So like input states. So share would get any input states. Pass the window and pass the context should work. It doesn't work. What could be the problem? Something's wrong. What do you mean expected? Input station count. That's easy again. Okay, there's a problem. Really should be correct, right? Or oh, okay. Is this is okay. This looks good. Expected input states on screen. Oh, this doesn't make any sense, at least to me. Wait, am I tripping? What the fuck? What is this? You know, let me put in a new function. The input new screen. Then yeah, no, no. I'll leave that there first, and then here, just yeah. I mean, this should settle it here. You need to pass in this though. Oh, okay, okay. I think I get it now. It's supposed to wrap an entity. Shit. Okay, we'll have to this on window. What could that be? Oh, hey Jaffa, you've not missed anything. I'm trying to reproduce the error that we had yesterday that made us to use DeepSeek so that I could explain what I did wrong and explain how to actually do well. So I'm still trying to like write, like I started afresh, not the whole project, like in another project, so I could explain the whole thing. So right now, I'm still trying to write the code to explain what I did wrong. That's where I'm at. And this should be window. It's going to be immutable. Preference. So we're going to have those two. Oh, entity. Yeah, that's what I did now. Entity. Oh, context. Yeah, cool. So here we can just create a new input state. Say input state. Yeah. So pass in the window and CX. Okay, this context here has to be a context of input states. It has to be something as such. CX new CX and pass this here. It should work. Shit. Okay, didn't, but something else. Oh yeah, this has to be entity input states. Yeah, perfect. Then here, what we'll do here is add the input as a child. Input states. What could be wrong? Oh, did I do something? Okay. Wait, hold on a minute. Oh, okay. Shit, my bad. Holy. That was a rookie mistake. So let me run this again. Oh shit. What the fuck? Oh, okay. We need to have this wrapped in the roots. It's a GPY thing. Yeah, we need to wrap this like so here. So we create the view and wrap it. So it's gonna be like this. So because we're using GPU components, we need to wrap it in roots. So that's just it. Nothing crazy there. Oh hi, Abe Kumar. I don't know if I got that right. It was a few lines. Yeah, it was a few lines of code, but like I started from the beginning. Like if you are creating a fresh GPUI app, I'm trying to like point you to where the problem is as you're building. So this is like a fresh GPUI app here. We've not even like shown the problem yet. So I think I'm about to see the problem now. Okay, so oh shit. Okay, it works. Let's see. Let's make the text black here. Text color RGB. This one. I think that's okay. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see that the text input is working. Yesterday it wasn't so. Yesterday the text input was really like just hanging out, missing. As you can see, we didn't have to set up any crazy thing. I'm going to explain the text size. I'm going to explain the components of this app. Let me run this again. If you notice something, when we start the app, the application stays at the bottom of our screen, like it goes back to the end of the whole thing. It's supposed to like come to the front. And what we need to do to fix that is, let me check real quick. It took me a while before I figured that part out, but we just have to activate the window, the application, not the window. So if we come right here and say cx the activate, sure. So it kind of like brings the application to the front. The application, not the window. So if we had like two windows, they're all coming to the front. Let's try to spawn two windows. Oh, what did I open up? Okay, let's try to spawn two windows. You can see the application is now at the front. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's explain the whole issue that happened yesterday. There was something I was doing wrong, and I'm trying to remember where the problem was. It was a one-line thing, it was a few-line thing, and let me make reference to the old code. Okay, so it was somewhere around here. I can't remember where we fucked up. I wish we could go back to the commits that had that issue, but I'm not even sure we had a commit that fixed that. Let's see. That was 2 days ago. That should be 19th. Okay, let's yeah, I forgot where the whole thing was. Okay, it was here. Oh, okay. It was it? Was it? Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, okay. True. I see what happened now. If we take a look at this code, we are creating a new, like, we're creating the entity here, which is nice. But what we did before was, instead of, if you can see this test app, we created a screen at the point where we're creating the view. So everything is already set up. We already have the screen objects set up already. But the reason we had that issue, let me comment. Oh, no, comment that. The reason we had that issue was because there was no constructor. We didn't create the screen objects when we were creating the whole thing. It's just like when you all right, it's just like when you are building a just a building, when you're painting a canvas, it's like you write on it and you paint, you write on it and you paint over it, you write on it and you paint over it. But you're supposed to just have the writing in one place and have the painting in another place. But what I did was I put the writing where I was going to paint over. So right now we have the screen created here. You can see there's a single point where we create the screen, and that is fine. That is fine because we we have everything already set up. But what happened in the previous code that I was working with was I didn't have the screen created at the beginning. All I had was the struct initialized by itself. And then what I did, what I did was here, I now implement the screen. So I said, let's screen equals cx new. Then I built the screen here. So this is what I did yesterday. I don't know if you get it. We had the test app created already. So the test app is created, but the screen, the other components, I was creating the components every time we render to the screen. Take a look here. This is the second component. It's like having a div and then the child is being created every time that div is, rendered to the screen. So every time the div rendered to the screen, we are creating that child component again. So we're always creating the components on every render, and render actually, has to happen every time there's a change to the components tree. So this is what we did here. And if we run this again, we'll see that when we type, it's not working. It's because whenever we type, there is a change to the inputs, and then the GPUI redraws everything again, but then it's going to draw an empty value or whatever. So that was the issue we had yesterday that made it not to work. So really straightforward and simple, and yeah, at least now we know how to avoid that. All we need to do is make sure we don't initialize new entities in the render function. I mean, that's a no-brainer, but I wonder what I was thinking. But then they should be created at the same time we are initializing the root components, or maybe at a point that is not going to be like a a loop whenever there's a re-render. So I think something like this creates the screen here at the beginning, then render the screen based off what we have in the initial struct. So when we run that, we should see that it works as expected. So at least now I know how to avoid that issue. So it's a no-brainer, but I just kind of make that. So yeah, that's it for the problem we had yesterday. Let's get back to what we have today. Around this, you could see, or you'd see that there is a little bit of progress in designing the UI for the request response output. And yeah, I mean, I said that's just it. That is, you know, just it. Nothing works yet, but we just have the UI set up. Still a few changes to make. I will finish on this frame. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep up with what we you know, we have going. So what I was doing this work, and this whole, okay, this top looks good. I kind of like want to make sure this and this is the same. Let's see. I wish I could, okay, maybe later. I need to implement like a zoom because, you know, so it's big enough for the stream, but I don't want to stress into that one right now. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so let's get the size of this and the size of this to match. That's the search bar. So using a pattern. I don't want to use like a heights. Okay, stroke. Let's see how that goes first. I want to put it in the center so that, you know, the whole thing still looks good. Like that center. Center. Let's run this as a stuff. Okay, looks good. But we're going to have to need padding on the side. So do a X3. Okay, and for the render top bar, I just have to do the same. Spy center, the PX3, and give it a height of 12, H12. Okay, looks good. All right, cool. Now we see it's kind of like lines up. Perfect. So now let's work on this, the you know, the request response tab. I don't know if I want this to be a row thingy. I think I want this to be a column, like this on the top and this on the bottom. Yeah, I think I prefer that. So let's get up. This is the top bar. Then this is the top buttons. Descend. Okay, so this is the request panel, and we have the response panel. So just need to look for this guy and make it a clone. Cool. So yeah, we can work with this. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a panic. I keep forgetting to fix that. There's a panic somewhere. I think that's when we click the off. Yeah, that was body. Okay, so that's when I click the body. I'm checking in to be sure. That's actually when we click the body. Alright, cool, yeah, it is. Okay, so it's gonna be the sky. Something's wrong somewhere. Is it the render? No. Let me cut out the editor. Let's see. Alright, cool. It's actually the editor. So we could just fix that for now, and let's start. There was an orphan code that I had when I changed this to a select. I think I need to get rid of that. 213. Let me do a git add. I'm very good at naming commit messages. Let's see. Let's over. Okay, let's remove the select. Oh yeah, this is GPU's Nativedoctor. Oh shit, no. This whole thing is the GPU Nativedoctor. Now this is the request part. I think I should pull up the web so I could, show reference. And if we run Nativedoctor web, I'll point it to the outputs directory. Let's copy this. So if we click on a request, we can see this view. Now this view is what I'm trying to do here. It's just I made the lights. So this is what I'm trying to achieve here. The same view. But yeah, I'm adding ducks. And I don't know if I should leave this impute. It seems convectional. Like, who knows what impute is? It's basically you just adding to the environment variable. That's basically what it is. But in a convectional API client's testing tool, probably doesn't really mean anything. Anything that makes sense, I guess. Okay, I found the orphan code. That's this guy here. I recently added this method states, so we could have the select bar. Let's put that one out. So let's have to get rid of that. And also get rid of also get rid also, okay. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so I was trying to get rid of that variable, and I think it should still work clean after that. All right, cool. Smooth. Okay, so this is a request panel as good as it should look. But we need to do something to is there something somewhere? I like forgot what that should be. The send button, I don't want it to be bold. It looks bold. Yeah, got it. And there's a downside. You actually have to, you know, render everything from scratch whenever you're done building. Yeah, cool. That's good. And text color should be the same. Whenever I make a change, you have to like build. And if it's a big change, I have to build it again. Okay, what other patch should we work on? Let's take a look at this. Okay. I think what we need to do next is work on the. I don't know if I should put my efforts into making the non-UI part, like the logical part of all this, to work out right now. Let's see. Let's start with the docs. Let's take out this thing. Let's have docs. I think I should rename all this because I'm going to have response tabs too. Okay. Fine. So the docs right here, we want to pick up the pattern. First of all, remove the heading. Second of all, and this guy needs to be an actual text input, not just a placeholder. So let's see what we can cook up with GPI components. So they should have a text input, have a text. I think it's just going to be the same inputs bar, like inputs, this guy. I was thinking there'll be a dedicated text area, but I think we'll have to implement it from this guy. Let me make sure that is correct. Okay. Table switch step around. Okay, let's use the inputs. So this is going to be an input. Input here. I need the states for this guy. That's going to have to come from here. States. The reference to the entity. Input states. Okay, let's put it like this. Input states. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and create the input states for the docs. After assets right here. So the docs states. Okay. I'll run this again. Oh, there's an error. Ish. Okay. Let's create the docs input states. The docs input states. Next. This whole thing is just state management for GPUI. Now, window CX. Placeholder is just going to be documentation for this request. I think that should do it. Something like that. That's good. So basically documentation for this request. Just pass that there. And then run. Alright, cool. So we have this guy here. We need to do a few things. It needs to fill this entire space. We're going to color this red so that we can actually have a clue of where this doc space covers or contains or whatever. That will be here. Let's give it a BG RGBA for red. So basically we want this input to fill this whole red space. We need to remove the border and what else? I think that should be it. Remove the border, make it fill the whole space, remove that dark background looking thingy. So let's see how we can customize this guy. Let's see if there's a doc for that. Appears. Default value. Okay. Okay, so basically we can just turn off the appearance and use a custom component to wrap it. Let's see. Let's see appearance. I think that's basically all we need. But it needs to fill the whole screen, so it's size for. Let's run that again. So let's see. Oh, cool. It's not multi-line. needs to be most line for this to work. Let's see if there's any. I specify multiple lines. Yeah. Okay. What's that? Let's see. Well, it's kind of like something like this, multi-line, but for inputs. Why doesn't it actually has an editor? Okay, multi-line will have to be in the. Gonna have to be in the states. So if we go back here, go back here, we can specify this to be multi-line. Oh, cool, cool. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so now let's just take out the red color. And if we run this, we could see it looks normal. Okay, nice documentation. I have something that makes sense. I mean, eventually we're going to have to make this markdown, but for now let's leave it as these. So this whole part here is for documentation. If you notice, this thing here is kind of like thick. There's a thick, you won't be able to see it because obviously it's on the record, like on the from the screen. It's getting very small, but I can see there's a border here, and that is because we had these two guys as a row before. But let's see. Yeah, no, not there. The correspondent has the border. Yeah, we don't want at the right, one at the bottom. I see now there's a border separating both of those guys. Right, looks good. Looks good. Now we can go to params. So for this guy here, we're going to have to be creative. I think I should commit what I have. Another commit. We're going to have to be creative here. We need to create a key value pair component, and I'll explain what that is. It's kind of like a table inputs. I think that's the best word for this. Or is it? Let's take a look at. Let's see. Nice to have that's UI dynamic reference from. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Take a look at this guy. Okay, we don't have that here. Let's see if I can search Dribble. All right, API clients. if you actually want to work on a project and you need inspiration, Dribble is the place to go. And this is not an ad. Though I wish it was, but this is not an ad. And you just kind of like come here, you can see the lots of ideas. You can just pick one and just implement. Most of these designs don't even have a real life implementation, so you can just come here and just get something, copy it, and use it for yourself. There was a time I wanted to work on a notes app. I saw a very nice design on Dribble, and I reached out to the designer. Hey man, I want to use your design, to implement it. And I don't think he responded. I can't remember. Obviously he didn't, but I didn't even check. I think I waited for a while though. Okay. Oh, this is cool. If your editor with this, it's actually cool, but that's not what we're looking for. Okay, take a look at this. See this part here. This part here, key value description. We need this component because we're going to use it for our headers. We're going to use it for, form body, like what do you call it? Let's see. Nativedoctor web outputs. So this components here, see this click params. We have the key, we have the value, we have the key, and we have the value. And you can see there is always an empty slot to put in a new key value here. So we can have value here, but key is the one that actually decides if that slot is valid. So once we have all valid slots, we have a new one to put keys into. That's kind of like anyways, you get the idea. The same components, we're going to need it for headers, for form body. Let's see. Okay, we just use a string here. Okay, cool. Inputs, maybe hot, blah blah. But anyways, we need to implement the table inputs, and I called it KV, but I'm gonna call it table inputs. So we need this guy, table inputs, and we need to implement render for it. So this is us creating a new component, GPUI component. Oh, I need to add this to the mod. For table inputs. And the function. Oh, okay, let's get this from Z GPUI. Okay. So this is already a legit thing, but we need to manage the states. We need to manage the states. So I'm just gonna have states here. Create a new struct. Total and states. So it's just gonna be an entity that can put activate states. Okay. Then let's look what's the new function. Oh, I think I can take out this text down. Yeah. Cool. Real quick, I want to see how GPUI components implemented those guys. This inputs. Let me see new. Okay, okay. All right, cool, cool, cool. I thought we were returning like an entity, but we're actually just returning the struct itself. So states, I guess this one to be a reference to. Oh, okay. Sure. Hmm. Okay, I just realized something. Let me take a peek real quick. Oh, okay. I think I know what it does. Just clone it instead of, and because I was thinking of how to go through the lifetime issues. If states. So I just come here and say states.home. Yeah, we could just do that. Cool. So let's think of how we manage this guy in the first place. One moment. Okay. Okay. Cool. So what kind of state do we want to get? It's going to have to be a vector items, a vector of some other thing. It's going to be a bool. There's going to be a string, and a string, a string. So I think we need to implement this in a struct as a table item of some sort. I'm not going to make this whole thing too generic because obviously we know what we're using it for. Maybe two. That was the enabled boolean. Holds the value for the key. Get string was the value, get string, and description. Get string. I don't know if I've made this up now. Because in some cases we might not need it, but let's just leave it. We have these two values. But the thing is, let's say the key is going to be a special kind of component because sometimes we might need the value. Yeah. Sometimes we might need for it to be field inputs so we can collect a file, like a file, local file, or a password input, or something that can be hidden, like for end. Let's see, say the secrets. It uses a mask to hold the state to mask the input container. Yeah, we could do that. So instead of having this as a simple, we could just put this here as a table state input. So it's a vector of those rows of those guys. What else? What else could we do? What else could we do? What else could we do? So now what we're gonna do, let's render a simple row for now. Like, how does a single row look like? Should I just click empty row, a single row? 0. This is because it's a render row. Obviously, we need the item. Let's make it optional. Or should be empty. I look want to name this KV input back. I think that's a little better for me. Let's KV inputs. Then, so we don't really confuse this entirely with the table. KV. I think that's better. So to render a row, not on a div. See about that. Holy, I forgot something. There's something I have to do at work that I forgot. Like, for someone asked me to do something yesterday, and I promised it to be ready by today. Promised to be ready by today. But look at me, streaming. I hope they're not watching this, by the way. Oh. That guy does not own. It's repaired. It's pure. Okay, so let's get back to this. Children. Let's make it empty. Let's just count it. We'll get to this later. But this is the empty guy. This one's the render. So the render row. The KB item here. Should it be? I think there should even be. There should be 2 components here. Sad as it is, each row has to manage its states. That is true. That's true. That's true. I have to finish this stream by 4 o'clock. That is because I have to attend to something else outside my personal projects. And maybe in the next stream, I would continue from where I stopped. Cool thing is, I was able to address the problem that we had yesterday, reproduce it, and go over the whole thing. So, I mean, someone watched the previous stream and comes to this one, and I get what I did wrong, where I fucked up and all, and can I just have a shift? Okay, cool. I just have like a better understanding of, how not to do some things. mod key row. Then here would need to be, let's implement the KV. Start KV row construct. No, let's implement render of KV row.